Well, the truth is, guys, there is no single answer to that question. But since I have been asked that question, I'm going to give you my answer, being aware that this is only one answer among many possible answers. It has to be said that the number of possible answers is not infinite either. And I am pretty sure I can commit to the idea that the answer that I'm going to give you in this video is, in my view, almost certainly in the top 5. Right? It's the number 1 from my perspective, but maybe I'm biased. I'm probably biased. I speak from my own stance, so on and so forth. So I'm going to say psychotherapist. Psychotherapist, I think, is going to be a great option for a lot of INFJs. Now, does that mean all INFJs? No, because INFJs are all different. So it's true that there is no one size fits all, okay? There is no one job that every single INFJ should do and they can be certain that they'll be super fulfilled, super happy forever after. That's just a dream. It's a pipe dream. It's snake oil, okay? But I think that practicing as a psychotherapist is going to suit a lot of INFJs. And there are quite objective reasons why. One of the main reasons why I think a psychotherapist is like a great job for INFJs is that INFJs are really, really interested in people. And in fact, sometimes people find them intense for being so interested in people because they want to aggregate information to feed their NI, but sometimes people are a bit surprised by this kind of intense inquisitiveness. I mean, it's not inquisitive in the kind of like nagging sense, but it's also related to haziness, a concept that I've described, by the way, in this book, The Ecstatic Soul. It's one of the ways in which an INFJ is in the world. If you want to know all about this and you look at the INFJ personality, the deepest investigation of the INFJ type, this is the book to get. And haziness is one of the fundamental experiences that the INFJ has with other people, is that an INFJ never experiences a person initially as this full, completed whole. People tend to be hazy for the INFJ, which is why they need to kind of circumscribe them. They need to define a perimeter for them, and they do that by being really interested in them. That's feeding their NI, okay? So, if you like, sometimes people are going to appreciate this, sometimes people are going to find that too intense, spiritually intense, you might call it, okay? Well, when you're a therapist, you can this is your job. This is your job. You get, in terms of sublimation, the defense, the Freudian defense called sublimation, it's the perfect example of INFJ sublimation. Not only is what is perceived by other people as a quirk something that is productive for you, but it's seen as socially valued and useful because people are going to be grateful for it, And this is literally your job, to be keenly interested in what people have to say, and they will talk to you. Now, an INFJ also has a tendency to inspire confidence and trust because they're eager, and because they're eager to hear, they're good listeners, and they tend to exude this aura of gentle and calm kindness and benevolence. So INFJs are going to be in a quite privileged position to create a solid working alliance with a patient or a client, And this, again, in turn, is going to be a source of satisfaction for the INFJ to realize they're good at that. Now, there's another important aspect that really is not emphasized enough, is that often INFJs will say, I'm good at these things, but the problem is I'm easily socially depleted. That's my main nemesis, is that I feel like I could be so good at this, socially speaking, but it's just my energy levels are those of an introvert, and I need to retreat to the NI world, and et cetera, and I'm afraid of committing too much, or people sort of pushing me and crossing my boundaries and not knowing what to do anymore, and then getting really burnt out, depleted and burnt out. And that's often the reason why INFJs end up avoiding people. It's not because they don't find people interesting. It's not because they're not social at all, like they are social people. It's because they are very governed by this fear of the environment, in terms of the environment just like vampires, just extracting their resources and not letting go. The thing about the therapeutic setting is that it's by definition formalized. So there are rules, you're in a professional relationship, so it protects you. It gives you the particular kind of setting where you can feel safe about your boundaries being clearly set. And that makes a big difference. And by the way, that also happens on the patient side. You know, it's well known that patients that have issues, but that also have issues around their boundaries being respected, right, will often enjoy therapy because therapy offers a setting where they know that by definition, their boundaries are not going to be crossed unless they, you know, open up and create this kind of connection. But that's an advantage to the therapist as well. And finally, I will say, therapy with clients is often a journey of many, many years. So imagine just how deep you could go into exploring both, you know, like the life of the patient, how you can be of support, but also the more unconscious aspects, what lies behind, what lies beneath. And that's all about what NI is interested in, what NI finds joy in uncovering. It's what lies behind, what lies beneath. Like, you know, going deep into the unconscious to find the answers. And you can do this for a living. You can be rewarded for this, both in terms of an emotional connection, in terms of gratitude, recognition, in terms of a strong bond with the client, a strong alliance, and at the same time, monetarily. I mean, my view is if you take these four elements in consideration, it's clearly the case that therapist, psychotherapist, or psychologist, or counselor is in the top 5 best INFJ jobs. But let me know in the comments what you think, guys. I'd be curious. And by the way, INFJ life in the modern world. You can be a therapist or other things, but make sure that you remain authentic to your desires. And this book helps you to identify those desires, recover your authenticity, and own it. Because without that, you're not going to find purpose, value, and meaning. With it, you will. And this book helps you. INFJ Life in the Modern World, The Infinite Soul. Okay, guys, that's my latest book. Check it below. And a book that is its prequel, which is also a goodie, is The Ecstatic Soul, a new look at the INFJ personality. So, you know, I talked a little bit about it before, but this is the deepest investigation into the INFJ type that you will find online. So you should get it now. It's helped a lot of people. A lot of people have said that this has really changed our lives in many ways. So just to finish, guys, don't forget that I could not do it without you. Also, in terms of funding, in terms of donations, I'd be super grateful if you considered donating to my Patreon page. It's available below. You get access to really cool perks like access to Discord server. You can interact with the community, with me, get informal typings. I'm there on most days. You get access to bonus videos every 2 weeks where I go even deeper than here or in my books, and other perks too. So it's great, and you help me continue. If you like my content, if you think I produce something that is kind of unique in the landscape of content producers around personality types, Jung and so on, you know, if you like being at the cutting edge of INFJ research specifically, please consider donating. It's less than €4 a month, less than $4 a month, €3 in Europe. I advise you to do it via laptop, not via the phone, because you get extra fees through Apple. So through your laptop, please consider it. It's a great experience. It helps me. Okay, guys, see you soon. Bye-bye.